Hey guys, it's Heather. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about my favorite uses of vinegar, and I'm talking about white distilled vinegar. I use vinegar for pretty much everything. I just wanted to share with you my top favorites that are amazing. So to make a long story short, if you don't know the history about vinegar and how it works, vinegar is a weak form of acid that forms through the fermentation of sugars and starches. With that being said, the vinegar that you would purchase off the shelf contains 5% acetic acid. Now, because it contains that acid, it has the ability to kill 99% of vegetative bacteria, 80% of germs, and 82% of molds. So to jump right into it in no particular order, one of my favorite uses of vinegar is to clean and disinfect my washing machine. Now, the way I clean my machine also requires the use of baking soda.
So the first thing I do is pull out like the detergent dispenser and the bleach and the fabric softener tray, and I just begin spraying it down thoroughly with the full strength vinegar, and I just kind of let that soak in. And then I take a toothbrush and I just kind of give it a good scrub and just kind of get rid of any of the mildew that has been kind of growing in there, and just really cleaning it out, getting in the nooks and crannies. So once I kind of scrub for a while, I go back in a second time and give it one more spray and just kind of get back in there again one more time before I rinse the rest of it out with water. So I go back in and I put the dispenser in. You just kind of push on that little tab right there and it slides right back into place. So moving on to the cleaning of the machine itself, I go in with baking soda and I put 1 cup of baking soda into the machine. And then I move on to putting 2 cups of vinegar. So once that's done, I go ahead and I add some more vinegar into the detergent fill portion, and then I also add it into the bleach and softener section. Then I go ahead and I put my machine on the normal setting, but I just put it on like the hottest setting and I run it through, and that's it. So once that's done, your machine is nice and clean.
So next up, my favorite use for vinegar is to get that urine ammonia smell out of kids' clothes. Let's face it, kids, they can be messy and they can be stinky, especially if you have a child that's potty training, or even just sometimes sheets, they tend to smell like urine. Sometimes even after they get out of the dryer, they still have that like ammonia urine smell. Now say it's a fresh like pee stain and you put it in the washer, there's probably gonna be no problem. But if it's been sitting on the kids' clothes, say they go to daycare and they had an accident and it's just been sitting all day, so then that's gonna require the use of vinegar to really get that strong ammonia smell out. It's pretty straightforward. Ammonia is a high pH, and acetic acid, which is what is in the base of vinegar, is an acid, and therefore you have a high pH being ammonia that's in the urine and a low pH being the acetic acid that's in the vinegar, and then it's gonna neutralize. So then that's gonna get rid of that nasty urine ammonia smell.
So the first thing I do is take the soiled clothes and I begin to spray them down with the vinegar, and I just concentrate on the areas that were soiled with urine. So now that the water's been running for quite a while and it is nice and hot, I go ahead and I add in 2 cups of white distilled vinegar, and I just pour directly on top. So once the water is nice and warm and the vinegar is added, I just go ahead and I let the clothes soak in the solution. So I typically let them soak for about 30 minutes or so. It's okay if you let them soak longer, and then I wring them out. Then you can go ahead and pop them in the washing machine, or just go ahead and let them air dry and then wait until you're gonna run your laundry. And by the time they get out of that cycle, they will be urine odor free.
Now, my next favorite use is also has to do with ammonia and urine stains, and that comes from pets. So we have 2 dogs, and I have a little dog who is notorious for just going to the bathroom on the carpet, even though she's 10 years old. She's just a little stinker. So vinegar works perfect for neutralizing that ammonia and pulling that smell out and cleaning up that soiled area. Again, it is a disinfectant and it's gonna take care of germs. It's gonna work really good not only at, getting rid of that ammonia smell, but at breaking down the stain and really lifting it from the surface.
So the first thing I do is go ahead and take a paper towel to kind of sop up the excess urine. And then I go in with just some cold water. Next, I go ahead and I saturate the area with vinegar. I just have regular white distilled vinegar in a spray bottle, and I get it nice and saturated. And I go ahead and I let that soak for about 10 minutes or so. And then I take a dry paper towel and I sop up all of the excess, and by that time the stain is out and the odor is eliminated, and I'm good to go.
Moving on to another one of my favorites is drain cleaning. Now, this can be used in your bathtub, this can be used in your sink, in your shower, in your kitchen drain, in like a slop sink or like a laundry room utility drain, really anywhere where you would require some drain cleaning, where you would typically maybe use like Drano or some harsher chemicals. Of course, sometimes they will be needed, but I always recommend going the natural way first, just because Drano is really no joke. You really need to be careful. Its base is sodium hydroxide, which is a very high pH, so I like to use a safer route, which I like to use vinegar and baking soda. So if your drain starts to get a little bit clogged or just smells a little funky, like there's something growing in there, definitely check out this next way that I like to use vinegar.
So the first step is to put about 1 cup of baking soda directly into your drain, and you can remove that drain cap if needed. Then you pour 2 cups of vinegar right on top of the baking soda, and then immediately cover it with a towel to kind of trap everything in there together and let it get to work. So I let that sit for about 15 minutes, and then I follow up with dumping about a gallon of boiling hot water down the drain to flush everything through. Now your drain is clean and odor free.
So my next favorite use of vinegar, especially if I don't have any Windex in the house or a glass cleaner, I like to use vinegar to clean my glass. It's really good at removing like any mineral deposits and just making your glass really shiny and streak free.
So I start by spraying down the glass with vinegar, and then I go in with my microfiber cleaning cloth and I just wipe down the vinegar, and it comes out streak free and it removes all the mineral deposits and everything looks shiny and new.
So my last favorite use for vinegar is like an all-purpose shower spray surface disinfectant. So as soon as I'm done taking a shower, I'll take just a spray bottle filled with vinegar. Now I just pour straight vinegar in here. If you don't want to, you can always do like 2 parts vinegar, 1 part water, or half and half. I just like to use it full strength. Sometimes the smell bothers certain people. For me, I feel like it's kind of like an acquired smell that you kind of get used to. I just literally keep this in the shower with me, and once I'm done showering, I'll just take it and I'll spray it all along the shower, especially like in the cracks of the grout and like deep in the corners where moisture and mildew and mold can grow.
So after we shower, we just go ahead and we spray down the whole shower with vinegar, and this really helps combat any of the mildew that may start growing from the excessive moisture.
So those are all my top uses of white distilled vinegar. I hope you liked this video. I hope you got some new helpful ideas and that you will try them out. If you want me to do a video on uses for like vinegar with baking soda, I can also do that as well. I feel like those kind of go hand in hand a little bit, so just let me know down in the comments. So if you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.